Let's go then, Dave. Let's first of all talk about what has been an interesting weekend. Away from Crewe Alexander, I'm going to start it because what do you make of all this handball situation? Controversy around the Premier League. As a manager and as a set of players that you work with, does everybody know what it's all about, first of all?
If I'm being brutally honest, no. I don't think any of us knows the rules. I think that's the problem, the interpretation of the rule. Yes, we want consistency. I think we are getting consistency, which is a good thing. I don't think the rule... I'm not. This is not a criticism of the refs by any stretch of imagination. I think the rule is not conducive to allow proper... When I say proper handballs, you know, I finished the Tottenham documentary and they had a goal disallowed last year when Lucas Moura fell onto the ball after being fouled and he got choked off. You've seen a couple of penalty decisions this weekend that you only have to look at the players' reactions to know that not one person's appealed for some of them. Now, don't get me wrong, the Man United one, you know, Harry Maguire has. He hadn't meant to hit it in his hand. And Maupay's not meant to, you know, touch it with his hand. The Eric Dyer, and I can see why that's been given. I can genuinely see why that's been given. With regards to the Eric Dyer one, it's just not a penalty. But the refs are interpreting the law as it currently stands, and at least to be consistent. What I would say is it's gone that far that I'm pretty certain there'll be some managers up and down the country now telling, certainly where there's VAR in place, telling players to hit it at the defender's hands. Because it's, you know, I have no idea what outside of the silhouette means, but you're going to end up jumping like salmon with your hands down by your side. Well, that's just not a natural silhouette, but it doesn't seem that that's been taken into consideration. So when you use your arms for leverage to jump in the air, like Eric Dyer did, and it hits your hand, you've been penalised for it. So defenders are just going to end up jumping like salmon, and for fear of a defender heading it or it's somehow hitting you on the hand. It has gone too far for me. I think Steve Bruce said the same. Roy Hodgson said the same. Obviously, Jose Mourinho didn't say anything, but we know what he'd been saying. What I don't understand is that all these... This isn't me having a whinge, because it hasn't affected us or anything like that. They're all, the managers I've just mentioned, are all vastly experienced managers, successful managers at the top level, and they all feel the same way. So it just needs tweaking. I don't think it can get tweaked in season, because I don't think the rules allow that. So it looks like we've got it until the current season ends, which could be in about 2024, the way things are going. So all in all, brilliant.
Well, let's get to your football club now, because it was a lovely weekend for you. You know, a thoroughly deserved win. What do you want, and what do you hope for that type of performance will give to your players now going forward?
Well, I think that again, we've only asked of the players that we get better every game, and we have. You know, you look back towards Lincoln, the first game of the season. Bit of naivety on my part. We were too open, too expansive, still League Two-esque, if you like. And then you come fast forward 4 games to MK Dons, and we looked a proper outfit. And that's massive credit to the players. No one else. Just massive credit to the players. We took on board what we've said to them in training, and Kenny, and they're starting to get there. We felt like that. We felt Charlton was a good enough performance to get something out of the game, but we didn't. Then we definitely thought that at Hull. We were probably the better team. Only marginally, but we were the better team. And if anyone should have won 1-0, it should have been us. And then you fast forward another 7 days, and the result matches the improved performances. And if we keep improving and keep getting better, then we've got a chance of winning more games of football.
You've got a busy week, of course. You've already had a week with the Football League Trophy involved, winning at Bolton. You've got another one coming up now where you take on Newcastle Under-21s. You've got an Under-23 game as well, and at the end of the week, there's the most important one in Oxford. So you've got to get it all organised.
That's not uncommon for us, I'd say. We actually think it's not a bad week because there are 23 games on the Wednesday and not the Monday. So, does it stretches? Yeah, always. I look at it the other way. It gives us a chance, gives the players a chance to play more games. And the more games you play, the better you become. It's as simple as that. So, there's no point crying over fixture lists. I read something this morning about the NBA having 82 games in quite a condensed period. And they have greater travelling as well. And then I hear Guardiola talking about nobody's bothered about the players when he's got 40 players, or whatever it is, 30 players. And I go, there's got to be a balance. I get that. But we're quite used to that, I'd say. 24 players and we play 50 first team games and another 30 under 23 games out of 24 players. So we develop them when we can and they play when they can. It's as simple as that.
Well, let's look at the more immediate game, which is Newcastle United Under-21s. I think you played them a couple of years ago in this particular trophy. You got first-hand viewing last week at Shrewsbury. What can we expect from a Newcastle sort of academy team?
I think what you would expect. Athletic, can move the ball well if you allow them to. Can make mistakes and be naive if you ask them questions. And you've got to make sure you're on top of them. I think that goes for most under-23 teams in this competition. So it'll be a tough night. Last time we played them, they beat us. So we know it'll be a tough night, and we've got to make sure we're better than them.
You've assembled a good squad of players. Obviously, one or two have been out for the early part of the season, but you have a good squad of players. A chance for whoever you to select whenever there's a competitive game to impress. I'm pretty sure that's what you're looking at.
Yeah, well, there you go. You said it yourself. Anyone who gets an opportunity to play tomorrow night, a chance to impress. And then you go, well, Oxford away on Saturday and ask some questions. It's one of the biggest things last year that helped drive success. Wasn't there just 11 that played on the Saturday? It was numbers 12 to 24 that were kept driving and pushing whichever 11 was playing on the Saturday. And that's going to be the case again this year. And tomorrow night's a great opportunity to push whoever's in front of you at the minute. It's as simple as that. So hopefully some lads or all the lads will put in a good performance.
On the tournament itself, Dave, as we know, it's financially rewarding, isn't it? You've already got some money out of the tournament by winning at Bolton. It becomes, quite incentive based to do well.
Of course, if I'm being honest, I think that's why the competition's still going, because there's enough money that's being filtered down, to make it a worthwhile entity. So we have to take that seriously. Not just for that, like I said, it's an opportunity for people to develop, to impress. For some, it's just about minutes under the belt, getting back to fitness. But for the majority, it's a chance to impress. And then when you couple with the fact that the money's there, well, it's a great opportunity all around for a football club like ours.
And the big positive, if you can win, you'll be very, very close, more or less guaranteed. You're into the knockout stages. That's another incentive for the players to take on board.
Of course. It's the ultimate, the chance to play at Wembley now. There's no point talking about that because that's a long, long, long way away. But, we've got to win the game tomorrow and see where we get to. It's as simple as that. So that's all the focus is at the minute. But the rewards, both from a player's point of view and a financial point of view, can be massive.
45 minutes last week for Tom Lowry. In your squad at the weekend, I think I noticed Donovan Daniels out after the game with about 12 others or 14 other players. Yeah. Can they get an opportunity? Are they going to be involved tomorrow night?
Is that you, Graham, or is that George Andrews? Eh? When are you going to find out that?
Well, I don't know because it's a 7 o'clock kickoff, so I'm not used to that. Oh, I thought I'd get you there. But,
Come on, Graham.
We'll
find out tomorrow.
But Tom Lowry, to get in 45 minutes and be in your first team squad is the boost.
It's still early days for him. Let's be honest. We put him on the bench Saturday and said, look, if we can get 20 minutes out of him and we need 20 minutes to change the game, then great. Now, thankfully, we didn't. So I hope that the fans don't think that he's 90 minutes ready yet. That he'll play some minutes tomorrow. How long? Don't know. Depends how intense the game is, how he feels. But it's another, like I say, it's another opportunity for him to get minutes under his belt. So I've made it quite clear to Tom and the medical staff, I don't want to rush him because I don't want him back too soon, and then he goes missing for 6 weeks in 3 or 4 weeks' time, and that cycle keeps repeating all season. I'd rather take it a bit slower, and when he does come back, he comes back and he's back for good, back for the rest of the season.
And just on Donovan Daniels, he was one of your newcomers. He'll be feeling frustrating, won't he? To have a slight injury that's kept him sidelined for the opening 3 or 4 weeks. But good to see him again being out close to full fitness.
Yeah, Dom's in a similar position to Tom in the sense that they haven't had much of a pre-season. We've got to would rather be not cautious. We're constantly pushing them. The last thing we want to do is create a problem in 2, 3, 4 weeks' time, because in theory they're doing a pre-season whilst the competition's going on. So we've got to make sure that just by them training, that's not masking the fact that they haven't got enough work in their legs or their body systems, their cardio systems and glycolytic systems aren't up to speed with the rest of them. So we've got to develop both sort of training and football brain fitness, if you want, for a better term, with their actual body physiological systems. So, getting that right takes a bit of time, but I'm sure we'll get there. Liam's a terrific fella who's extremely knowledgeable. He's very bright, and we take the lead from him, and obviously Owen on the medical side. So between us, I'm sure we'll get it right.